Israeli forces are escalating attacks on Gaza's southern region of Rafah. Over 100,000 people have now fled Rafah since Monday, moving north to escape the worst of the fighting. At least 2 medical facilities in the south have now shut down. They're sending people north for help. More than 1.7 million Palestinians have sought shelter and safety in Gaza's southernmost city for months. Now, on Monday, the Israeli military dropped leaflets into eastern parts of Rafah, ordering people to evacuate. The Israeli military has now taken control of both the Rafah and Karam Abu Salem border crossings, preventing humanitarian aid entering the Gaza Strip. Now, the area marked in blue is where Israeli forces are currently stationed. They forced nearly 100,000 Palestinians to flee the southern part of the Strip. Hani Mahmoud's in Deir al-Balah outside Al-Aqsa Hospital. Hani, what's the situation there as thousands of people flee Rafah?
Yes, so there are more people are actually leaving Rafah city right now, particularly from the central part of the city as well as toward the western, the evacuation zone that's part of Al-Mawasik, where thousands of displaced families have been sheltering inside the tents that they set up and inside residential homes. But as the situations are getting much worse right now and evolving into much more challenging and complex situation, people are forced to leave it. The estimation right now for people who have already left the city close to 100,000 people, but there are more people who are still moving. But right now, they're moving under the use of extreme force by the Israeli military. The Israeli military within the past 2 days sent text message and made phone calls and dropped leaflet warning people of staying in Rafah city, despite the fact that it stated its operations are only limited to the eastern part of Rafah city. But on the ground, what we're seeing is an expansion of the military operations where more residential homes are being targeted. Residential towers across Rafah city are directly targeted by F-16 and by attack drones, as well as public facilities. The fact that we have a health facility right now that is completely non-operation, completely shut down because it is in the area where local residents were ordered to evacuate. There are more reports of the civilian casualties arriving to the Kuwait hospital, the field hospital toward a Sultan neighborhood, as well as the Saudi neighborhood in the western part of the city. And more destruction is being caused. According to eyewitness, the eastern part of Rafah city and very close to Rafah crossing pretty much cleared from any remaining residential building or public facilities. Just make it easy for the Israeli military to maneuver and to push deeper inside the city. Meanwhile, there are more attacks across the Gaza Strip, more airstrikes and more artillery shelling since early hours of this morning.
And Hani, UN agencies, I understand, are warning that supplies are running out. They could end up with very little fuel, very little food and water by Friday. Talk to us about the situation there.
Well, judging from what we saw yesterday when we did a report about people around a desalination plant here in Deir al-Balah city, it's the largest one, but it's not sufficient. It's not enough for the thousands of displaced families already in Deir al-Balah and the 1,000 more who are moving and evacuating the Deir al-Balah city. I think we are days away from catastrophic situations similar to what happened in the northern part of Gaza city. Not only water is becoming limited right now here, but also another lifeline for health facilities across the Strip and for the remaining population is just a fuel that is much needed right now for the hospital in the southern part in Rafah city, for the field hospital, for the Kuwaiti hospital to sustain their operations. Without it, they will be forced completely to shut down their ICU, their oxygen stations, but also here as well. Without the fuel, we'll see a complete shutdown of all means of life here. The water and fuel represent 2 major lifelines for people, but they're becoming much more diminished right now.
Hani, thank you very much indeed. Hani Mahmoud in Deir al-Balah.